Not having a national Pokédex is not so bad. I know a lot of Pokemon fans are very upset, and to be honest, it's just a small window at a much bigger problem and a disconnect between the game developer of Pokemon and their fans. I wanted to make this video because I have a lot of friends who have been asking me if the new Pokemon is going to be worth getting, citing the national Pokédex as a main reason. I want everyone who watches this video to understand that while Pokemon are missing from the game, is not any reason to not support the games. Now, this is not a review. It's more of a top 10 reasons why the National Pokédex is not that big of a deal and it shouldn't keep you from getting Sword and Shield. So, without any ado, let's begin. Number 1. The missing Pokemons. While it's a perfect opportunity for a Thanos snap joke, it's not the end of the world. If anything, it helps you experiment with new Pokemons. It kinda has been this way for a while now. Back in 2016, I got the Pokemon Yellow re-release on the 3DS, and I assembled my classic team of Charizard, Gengar, Pikachu, Mew, Venusaur, Blastoise, etc. And I went through the game rather quick because I knew what I wanted and the teams that I wanted. Fast forward the next year and I purchased Pokemon Silver, the re-release of course. I started playing my game, and while I did not have access to my original team, I did have access to the Pokemon types that I was familiar with. I still assembled a powerful team. While they were not my favorite Pokemons, they were not so different that my experience was changed at all. This made me experiment with new Pokemons. This also led me to start thinking past the 151 and start adding Pokemons with more than one type on my roster. Some may have been Pokemons I knew, but now they had something new to them. This is a game that was released back in 1999. I feel this is the reason why a lot of us are close to all the different starters, because we always start a new adventure with them. They are always going to be water, leaf, and fire. When Let's Go Pikachu came out, I went back to my old habits of picking a team that is identical to my old teams. I did not experiment. Number 2. The cheaters. We do not want to let cheaters in with fake Pokemons. Sadly, you can go into the iPhone or Android store, and not only do they allow you to customly build Pokemons, you can also transfer them to the game. It tricks the game into thinking that a trade is going on, and voila! You have a super Pokemon in your team. There are ways to find out if this is a fake Pokemon, and they will get you disqualified from any tournament, but knowing that you can make Pokemon, then transfer them into an older version, then transfer them to game, and then eventually into Sword and Shield would not make me feel very good about Game Freak or the Pokemons that are out there. Piggybacking on my point for number 1, and the fact that it encourages Poke experimentation, is that the move themselves will let you know if it's going to be an effective move or not. This might not be welcome to veterans, but it still lets anyone who is new to this generation of Pokemons know what kind of move it is and how it will affect the opposing Pokemons. Number 4, the way the Pokemons look. It's not like Pokemons are hard to guess either. In the same way that Rabbids vs Mario, you can tell what the Pokemon does based on the way they look and sometimes their surroundings. Like this ice cream dude. Here, I can already tell you he's gonna be ice and eventually he's gonna learn Blizzard. Actually, yeah, see, he does. Number 5, different gyms. This one is not about Pokemons, but I still like that each game has their own gyms, and I think that's pretty cool. Back in the day, we only got different versions with different Pokemons. At least this time they tried and make each one a little bit different. Number 6, the raid battles. Now, the raid battles are gonna help you get fancy Pokemons. My second raid battle that I did, I had a Togepi, and I think that's pretty sick. I consider Togepi as one of the more fancy Pokemons you can get, and you only get those at like GameStop giveaways or so. Now, I'm not sure if I'm going to keep in this Togepi because it is Togepi, but at the end of the day, at least I was able to get a good Pokemon just from the raid battles. So I think that's also going to give you an opportunity to experiment with different Pokemons or get one that you wanted from before. Number 7, the internet is a thing, so use it. Do your research. When I was playing Pokemon Gold and Silver, all I was doing was looking at Pokemons and seeing what kind of attacks they had, what was their weaknesses and all that stuff. So do the same thing now. We do have more Pokemons, but it's very easy to look up a list to see what Pokemons are out there on the new games and which are not. Number 8, you can also breed a Pokemon with any stats that you want. I have never done this because I'm not very patient, but I do have friends who breed their own Pokemons. You can do this by getting a Ditto and your favorite Pokemons with the stats that you want, buy them a pizza, play one of the weekend albums, and then wait some time, so before you know it, they're gonna have a baby Pokemon with the desired stats. And guess what? It's a legal Pokemon. Now you have no reason to say that Pikachu cannot get fat as Raichu, because through selective breeding you can get it. Now another cool thing about the new Pokemon is that the HMs are gone, so you don't have to worry about giving a Pokemon a move that you're eventually not gonna want and you can't erase. Number 9, different iterations. Now this is more of an observation. I feel like not a lot of trainers have moved their Pokemon from generation to generation. I know that some have grown attached to those Pokemons, if you will, because they have had them for a long time. I don't think that's very true, because I feel like a lot of players, when they get a new version of Pokemon, they start a game, they don't necessarily bring their old Pokemons. And that's kind of like how it is with me. I have not been moving stuff over. As a matter of fact, I had a Pokemon bank once, and I transferred my Pokemons from X or Y on there, and I eventually forgot about them. Maybe if I log in, they're still in there. I don't know. But a lot of the games that we play, like Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, even The Legend of Zelda, each game comes with a different hero. And I feel like it's the same way with Pokemon. Now, you might not be getting the original team that you had before, but you are getting the same Pokemons that you were before. Going back to my old point, you do want to go for experimentation, try different teams, but I don't think it's that big of a deal to have to start with a new team or have Pokemons and not be able to move the Pokemons from before. And the players that do have that concern are very few in between. Number 10, Miscellations and the new engine system. This one goes hand in hand. We need to remember that this game is pretty big, and it's also built to the new system with the new engine. You can see that they try to go for a more vast, much bigger experience than with X and Y. We also made mistranslations and quotes out of context to make our points. I do believe that Pokemon are upset with Game Freak, but it's because it's much more of a problem. This comes from years and years of miscommunication with their fans. Game Freak has a different perspective of what their games are and what fans think they are. Everywhere we look, we see our beloved franchise and creatures be plastered like in Pokemon Go and all these different mobile games, and it kind of makes us miss those original experiences for Pokemon. So a lot of times we want the same experience over and over, and they are trying to reinvent. On top of that, they are going into a brand new system, into a brand new engine, and they are a team or about 200, I believe, so that also is going to make it very hard for them to make a lot of changes. So we also need to keep that in mind. Now, this is all I have for you guys today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for this video and all of your friends. Did I not make a good point? Did I make a good point? Let me know. Is there anything that I forgot? Let me know as well. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful night. This is AJ with No More Beta. I will see you guys later.